live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, this is iRadio Afternoon News. First, here are the headlines. An SSPDF major has been killed in an attempt to fend off cattle raiders in Tori town of eastern Equatoria State. The Ministry of Roads and Bridges has built a monument in honor of memory of 5 workers, including 2 engineers who died during the construction of the Freedom Bridge in Juba. And Kenyan presidential hopeful Raila Odinga has pledged to construct a highway linking Juba with Nairobi to ease trade between the two countries. These stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Lugala Mulai, and now the news in detail. An SSPDF major has been killed in an attempt to fend off cattle raiders in Tori town of eastern Equatoria State. The town mayor Joseph Osawa has said. He told iRadio the unnamed major was shot and killed while trying to protect 200 bulls from unidentified raiders yesterday at around 3:30 p.m. Osawa said the incident occurred at the Kineti River in the state capital, Torit.
It was a trial of cattle raiding inside the town, nearby the river. It's just a matter of, it's not even a kilometer away from the town. And some 3 or 4 members of the criminals came and tried to raid some cows. And while in the eyes of the people, that not took 3 to 4 minutes. People rushed there and they were already intercepted and they were fighting. The fight continued till they returned the cows. Yeah, there's a casualty. One of our majors even died there, SSPDF. But it's okay, we're okay now. That's why we're trying to follow the footmark to know exactly from where these people came from. And we're in a meeting and sooner or later we'll let you know.
Mayor Osawa said that the situation in Tori town is now relatively calm. The Ministry of Roads and Bridges has built a monument in honor of memory of 5 workers, including 2 engineers who died during the construction of Freedom Bridge in Juba. Engineers Roman Magarni Lukak and Otimbong died of illnesses while on duty in 2015 and 2020, respectively. Likewise, the Egyptian national Mohammed Saad Adli, while workers Emmanuel Wani and Gojatoy drowned in the Nile in June 2015 as they set the temporary basis of the bridge. Speaking during the inauguration of the Lifeline Bridge yesterday, the Undersecretary in the Ministry of Roads and Bridges paid tribute to the construction workers. Peter Quot-Gel said.
As we celebrate the handing over the Freedom Bridge to the people of Republic of South Sudan, I want to pay special tribute to the people who lost their lives during the construction of the bridge. 3 lost their lives through the construction of this bridge, who were 5 in numbers. 2 of the workers fell into the river during the construction of the temporary bridge and got drowned. The other 3 died on duty due to sicknesses.
A stone monument has been built near the bridge in their honor and memory. Kenyan presidential hopeful Raila Odinga has pledged to construct a highway linking Juba with Nairobi to ease trade between the two countries. Raila Omolo Odinga, who is also the High Representative for Infrastructure Development in Africa, made the remarks in Juba yesterday. South Sudan is currently on the path of to connect Kenya, Ethiopia through a tripartite project known as Lamu Port South Sudan Ethiopia Transport or LAPSAT Corridor. The project was launched in 2013 to enable infrastructure, interconnectivity, and ease the movement of goods and services among the 3 countries in the region. Once implemented, South Sudan will become a transit point to the Western and Southern African countries. Raila Odinga claimed that if he wins the election, South Sudan and Kenya will have good transport infrastructure.
If I win the elections, I want us to open the border between South Sudan and Kenya. We'll talk about funding this highway from Juba to Nadapal to Nairobi so that you can be able to access the goods from the Naivasha inland depots. Within just a matter of 10 hours, you'll be there. Another 10 hours, the goods are back here in Juba. This is what we want to do, and you can't come to walk to Kenya as a South Sudanese without even any passport, just your own ID.
2 weeks ago, the South Sudan Minister of Transport said the government has started mobilizing companies to kick off the construction of Nadapal Juba Road as part of the regional project. However, the country's first Vice President, Dr. Riek Machar, says South Sudan is committed to ensure that LAPSET project is realized.
Our goods in Juba or in South Sudan are very expensive. Transport cost is big. Mombasa Port has become congested. We understand Lama Port is ready. That was one project. Because if we can use it, it will bring prosperity in this country. I hope the road that you people were planning to build has reached Lokoshokio. We are working hard to see that Lokoshokio is connected with Juba so that the LAPSET project is realized.
The two top officials were speaking during the official commissioning of Freedom Bridge in Juba yesterday. Central Equatoria's legislature is set to dispatch a committee to investigate claims against the involvement of Kajukeji Commissioner in illegal logging. This is according to Wani Jackson, a member of parliament representing Kajukeji County in the State Legislative Assembly. Earlier, the executive wing of the state government dispatched a committee to the area to obtain claims against the commissioner. But the undisclosed report was, however, disregarded by the August House, claiming it was compromised. The parliament then formed its own committee, it described as an independent committee. It says the fact-finding committee is tasked to investigate the alleged involvement of the commissioner in an unlawful logging. However, it's not clear when the team will visit the area, but the authorities say soon.
Yes, there was a proposal before the committee was formed, but most members of the parliament say no, that is not, that is too early, and therefore there is need for more clarifications and investigation. Now, there is nothing about impeachment of the commissioner, other than the parliament, I think, decided to have a committee that will move down to the ground to get a report, independent report. So if there is anything about impeachment of the commissioner, maybe after when the committee had gone down, got that report, and they got that the commissioner has made a hand or having involved in the logging.
In October 2020, the state government issued an order banning logging in all its 6 counties to stop deforestation and preserve some red-free species. And in October last year, the state authorities reported that some companies threatened to attack Kajukeji County officials over a ban on the logging. And recently, Central Equatoria State Cabinet Minister Y. Godwill issued an order stopping logging in Kajukeji County in particular. This made the Kajukeji County Commissioner effect the order by writing to companies actively. You are listening to iRadio News. A court in Jonglei has handed different sentences to 10 young men found in possession of illegal drugs on Tuesday. The State Police Commissioner, Major General Elia Costa, says the unnamed men aged between 18 and 22 were arrested during a night patrol. They were caught while smoking bang. The unnamed supplier was also apprehended in the police search. Major General Elia Costa spoke to iRadio yesterday.
On the 15th, we have a night petroleum here working within Bor town. So during the patrol, they arrest 10 youths using drugs, that is bongo, in a certain place house. There is a certain place they used to go and buy it from there, and then they smoke it. The bongo was weighted 10 kilograms and plus others. So they opened a case against them in police station Bor Medina, and then after that they take them to the court. So they judge them, one of them 1 year imprisonment, other 4, 6 months, the other 5 fine, which is 50,000. So that is what happened here the day before yesterday.
General Costa said smoking marijuana is a punishable offense. According to the law, production, sale and possession of any forms of medicinal marijuana products are illegal in South Sudan and can lead to severe penalties. Finally, before moving to stories making headlines in the region and the international scene, Awil Mada, being held custody, has confessed she drowned her 3 children due to frustration, saying she was unable to feed them. That's according to Awil Town Police. On Wednesday, police in northern Baral Ghazal State arrested a 28-year-old Awut Lik Yor for allegedly killing 3 siblings in a river. The incident occurred at 6:30 a.m. in Mobile Tokiep village on Wednesday. During an interrogation yesterday, the police say suspect Yor complained she lacked food and could barely feed the children. She was married to bear children to an old lady's late son with the help of a relative, according to their tradition. Yor was assured Amo Kwer Dao will take care of all her personal needs and her children's. But over the years, the living condition has changed as the old woman could no longer afford to provide for her. Yor could no longer bear the situation and decided to contact Awer Malong Awer, who fathered the children of the deceased Lual Malong Lual. But the Awer denied any responsibilities. Ripped by poverty and frustration, Yor decided to drown her 4 children into a nearby river. Fortunately, one of her children escaped and reported the incident to the police, leading to her arrest. Northern Baral Ghazal police spokesperson Gwot Akol explains.
حصل انه هي كانت متزوجه لزول المتوفي اسمه لوال ملونج لوال والزول الزوجه لولد المتوفي ده عجوزه اسمه مون كوير داو لما الرسوها عشان يجي يلدي لزول المتوفي في ظروف بتاعت المشاكلاتهم الاسريه هي ادوا لزول ثاني اسمه وير عشان يلدي معه وربنا رزقهم 4 أطفال. في يوم نفس اليوم الحادث هي حاولت مشى لأوير عشان يقدر يسأل عن حاجات أسرية تاني. فأوير قالوا بكل وضوح بأنه أنا لما عينوني إنه نكون مسؤول عشان نجيب أطفال نديك أطفال بس. ده كان مسؤولية بتاعي لكن أكثر من كده ما عندي أي مسؤولية تاني.
You are listening to iRadio News. Now to stories making headlines in the region and the international scene, brought to you by MTN. Here is Yar Ajak.
متى تفوق زاك في محل
aku huria de bisibu nasma bekara bu gurus virasitani asa gurus asa sama guru bude ana gura fata maltani fi custom maltani fi gumbo maltani fi konyo maltani fi news ana bitala kania ni aku ashanite bistamta be huria de bes dusu nejma wahid 00 nejma tarata nejma arba usilim wenda biliko kamis tochir de giga be 100 jinebes ukamante la tin de giga be 100 kamsin jinebes fi yom Kabil walai. Ada huria asli walai. Ada huria ya.
Good afternoon, Lugala Malai, and now let's have a look at stories making headlines in the region and international scene. A Kenyan MP accused of forging his academic papers did not sit his final year exams at the secondary school he claims to have attended, an ex-teacher has told a court. The MP, Oscar Sudi, had claimed that he sat the exams at Highway Secondary School in 2006. But the school's former principal said the index number Mr. Sudi claimed to be his belonged to another student, adding the MP did not register nor sit the examination at the school. The MP has been charged with forging a diploma certificate and a secondary school certificate. Elsewhere, Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni says talks with Kenyan presidential candidate Raila Odinga touched on issues concerning the two neighboring countries. This comes after they met at State House in Entebbe last evening. Mr. Odinga, considered one of the front-runners in the 9th August presidential elections, had paid a courtesy call on President Museveni. In a tweet about the meeting, Mr. Odinga said, "We walked down memory lane to discuss the shared history of our countries, aimed at forging stronger ties moving into the future." And finally, the future of Israel government has been plunged into uncertainty after a member quits, leaving it a minority in parliament for the first time. The Arab member of coalition resigned, saying she could not tolerate its leaders' right-wing stances towards her section of society. The unexpected move means the coalition commands only 59 seats out of 120. The most diverse coalition in Israel's history has been in power for just under a year. And those are the latest stories making headlines in the region and international scene. And back to you, my colleague in the studio, Lugala Mulai.
Thank you very much, Yarajak, for taking us through what is making headlines in the region and the international scene. Now to the world of sports. Here is Emmanuel Joseph Akile.
Everton secured their Premier League status with an incredible fight back where they came from 2 goals down to beat Crystal Palace. The hosts, who will continue their 68-year stay in the top flight, looked like they were heading for defeat after Palace scored twice in the first half. But Magikarp fighters' spirit once more and is spied on by their support. Everton turned the game around in the second half thanks to a more attacking approach. 9 minutes after the break, Michael Keane smashed in to give Frank Lampard's side hope. And when Richarlison found the bottom corner with a deflected shot with 15 minutes left, it sent Goodison Park into raptures as a precious point looked likely. The crucial result avoided the kind of final day nerves that Everton fans had to experience in 1998 and 1994, where the team also preserved their Premier League status. Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel said it was a miracle they were set to finish third in the league, given they have played much of the season without N'Golo Kante, comparing the France midfielder to the likes of Paris Saint-Germain's pair Neymar and Kylian Mbappe. Kante made only his 20th Premier League start in Thursday's 1-1 draw against Leicester City, a result which effectively sealed third spot ahead of their final game against neglected Watford on Sunday. Kante, who has 1 year left on his deal at Stamford Bridge, has had his season curtailed due to groin and knee injuries as well as COVID-19. Tuchel liked the impact of the 31-year-old's absence to that of Van Dijk at Liverpool last season after the Dutch defender missed the bulk of the campaign due to a knee injury. And finally, defending champion Novak Djokovic, 13-time winner Rafael Nadal, and new teenage star Carlos Alcaraz were drawn in the same half of Roland Garros on Thursday. World number 1 Djokovic and Nadal, ranked 5, are seeded to meet as early as their quarterfinals. Alcaraz, 19, is bidding to become just the 8th teenager to win a Grand Slam men's title. He could face either Djokovic or Nadal, who holds a record 21 majors in the semifinals in a top-heavy draw for the second Grand Slam of the season. That's all from the world of sport. And back to you, Lugala Mulai.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel Joseph Akile, for taking us through the world of sports. You are listening to iRadio News, and to end this bulletin, here are the headlines once again. An SSPDF major has been killed in an attempt to fend off cattle raiders in Tori town of eastern Equatoria State. The Ministry of Roads and Bridges has built a monument in honor of memory of 5 workers, including 2 engineers who died during the construction of Freedom Bridge in Juba. And Kenyan presidential hopeful Raila Odinga has pledged to construct a highway linking Juba with Nairobi to ease trade between the 2 countries. That is the end of iRadio Afternoon News. You can get these stories and updates by subscribing to iRadio News Alert on your MTN South Sudan number. Call 700 or dial star 700 hash and follow the instructions. If there's a story or an event you'd like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message on +211 925 287 870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on Twitter at iRadio Juba. Like our Facebook page, iRadio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic at 1:30. I am Lugala Mulai. Thanks for listening.